Hey guys, how's it going? Octopus here. Welcome back to Unicross. We're going to be doing the Savage Vanguard on both my free-to-play account and my main account. My free-to-play account did pass this last night over on twitch.tv/SmellyOctopus where I stream. If you guys ever want to come check me out there, I do stream Opera Union Cross just like the last night, and we're also doing Digimon Re-Arise, which has been pretty fun. But you guys are here for the big bonus challenge to get your 5,000 jewels. Most of you probably got your first 3,100. I'm going to be doing this on my main account because I haven't passed it yet on my main account. I just got to quest 6 and 7, so I'm going to do those two, and I'm going to show you what I did last night on stream with my free-to-play account. My free-to-play account has not pulled for any of the new medals. The only medal it's pulled for so far, I got Ava. Ava is my only tier 10 foreteller medal that I have. Haven't pulled for anything else since then. That's why I'm sitting over 125,000 jewels right now. Would have been over 130,000, but we did 2 pulls last night just for fun, and that was a terrible idea. So we're gonna jump in, do the big bonus challenge. This is number 6 out of 7. So a couple things to tell you how to beat this guy. He pretty much has got a little bit of everything. He's got poison. He changes his attribute every turn. So on the first turn, he doesn't have a reflect, but on the second turn, he reflects speed. So if you use a speed setup on the second turn, it's going to kill you because it's going to go right through. But there's ways around that on the second turn. If you have a speed setup, don't buff, and just tap your whole entire Keyblade and kill him on turn 3 and turn 4, because you can kill this guy in 4 turns and get all the rewards. So you can still use your speed setups, just make sure you don't buff on turn 2. Now when you get to turn 3, he reflects magic. So this is all good news and also bad news depending on how you do this, but he reflects. So meaning we can manipulate our buffs, carrying over our Acid buffs, carrying over our Ava buffs, carrying over any medal that says raises reverse, raises upright, raises magic, speed, or power strength by 1,000, 1,500. If you end up dying by the reflect, that buff actually carries over. So when your first medal gave you 1,500, on second turn, or when you die from the reflect, you get that 1,500, so when you cast that medal again, you now have 3,000. Now, if you do that multiple times with extra attack, your strength goes all over the place, and you can kill this guy in 3 or 4 turns easily, even 2 turns sometimes. So I'm gonna go with my setup. Obviously, once you hit, I think, round 4, you have to use a copycat medal to copy your buffer, because your buffer costs 0, and you can't use any medals that cost 0. So anyone who's using Envy, that's a big rip right there. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, you can't use the cast of this, but you could use the cast of your copycat medal. Second chance is not needed if you bring in a defense boost max of anything. I'm pretty sure even defense boost 1 max will probably do it, but most of us have a defense boost 5 max on our buffers or something is similar. So bring in a defense boost 5 max, and you don't have to worry about the poison. You don't have to worry about second chance, because he just won't kill you. It's not possible. So you got that going for you, which is pretty good. If you guys are new to the game, bring in a buffer like Kairi or Shion that gives you strength, general defense down, and then most likely your other buffs will carry over from your medals. So extra attack isn't needed, not if you do a certain strategy that I'm going to show you on my free-to-play account. So you don't really need the extra attack there, but Kairi on second turn and third turn is really useful to save her supernova for that point. So I'm going to go with this number 6, see what happens. I should not bring in that Sora, actually. Let's take away Ultimate Form Sora before we get reflected on turn 2. Yeah, you know what? Let's bring the new Syx. That's what I got him for, right? Let's bring the new Syx. Pretty much Record Keeper Sephiroth over here is going to take care of that strength, reverse, and power strength by 15. And then I got reverse and power defense down by 15. So even though this is an upright buffer, this will take care of everything else. And because Kairi doesn't completely do upright, I actually got to fix upright over there as well. So we're going to take out you and bring out a power medal. Alright, so to fix that a little upright issue I have, I'm bringing in a Prime Cloud here. He's a tier 5. He's got upright attack and upright defense down to clean up my Kairi. So let's see if this works. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as your like last 3 medals plus your friend medal do a lot of damage, you're totally fine. You can even do like a forward copy medal to copy the Kairi and a backwards copy medal to copy the Kairi, and that should probably help out. As long as the rest of your Keyblade is just a complete beast, you're good to go. So I'm going to bring in not this Final Fantasy Record Keeper Sephiroth or this Syx, so it's 120% extra attack, because that's a little too unrealistic for you guys to copy. So I'm going to bring in something that is pretty decent. All right, so quest number 7, which is the harder one. People are stuck on quest number 6, but quest number 6, just bring in your full buffs and debuffs. Make sure, because Kyrie and Xion don't take care of all the upgrade for you, and you might not have the extra attack. So copy it as much times as you can, or bring an attacking mill like I showed you. And again, if you want to manipulate the first counter, you got to bring in a setup that has poison resist. It could be 20%, and you can try your luck 2-3 times. But if you bring in more poison resist, the better. And then you have to bring in a second chance, because your defense boost is not going to save you. You are going to die by the counters. So if you get his counters down to 0, you can manipulate that to carry over your buffs. But there's an easier way to do this, which I'm going to try to do this just clean with this setup, see what happens. I doubt this is going to fully work, but let's try this out regardless. I do want to use my Dark Now, because my Dark Now is a pretty sweet Keyblade. This is my main account. My free-to-play account is going to show you a little bit more of a strategy. So, same deal here. Activate all 3 of those metals. Then I'm going to activate Acid. So there's all my buffs and debuffs. Of course, Cloud's not doing any damage now. Didn't really expect him to, so it's probably better just for me to copy my Kyrie one more time. So, on this first turn over here, his HP hasn't gone down too far. Acid is going to end up hitting us back. He's going to not kill us, so it doesn't really matter that we got his counters down to 0. So I don't think that it debuffs us. Yeah, none of our buffs carried over. We don't have any debuffs, but his buffs are fully up. I'm going to use Kyrie now and then activate my Sykes over here. His Supernova for 280%, and he also gives us a little boost of 1500 for our power metals there. So that works out nicely. Still, Cloud doing no damage, so he's just there as a little bit of a buffer. But let's see if we can clean this guy out just by doing it this way. I might try the other way where we bring the poison resist. Here's the hit. Doesn't matter. He's down to a wow. This Keyblade's actually working. All right. Now here comes this turn, which again, we're not dying. We don't need second chance. This is turn 3. So we can keep going from here. Let me see these buffs and debuffs. So he does have 15 down, but you see the up rate is really high. Now, I don't think there's any way for me to clean up that up rate. So my upright metals are pretty much going to do no damage. I've only got -6 upright defense, which is like nothing. Alright, so let's keep going with this. See if we can beat this. This is why I'd rather just copy my Kyrie one more time. I'm surprised this is dying this quickly. Is this turn 4 already? This can't be turn 4 already, can it? Let's activate my Acid here regardless, see if we can kill him. There you go. Alright. So that was done. That, honestly, I did not expect. I guess it's the powerhouse of Acid and Sykes. Like, having that much damage from the tier 10s makes a huge difference. And my Keyblade, oh, Vanguard. And my Keyblade does have high sub slots, so that could be the big difference there from just really going through that. I thought I was going to have, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I did not think bringing in this Cloud was a good idea. But again, 1, 2, and friend metal. Three powerful metals, that's it. Goes right through. So yeah, what I do want to show you is my free-to-play account. Alright, so now for my free-to-play account. Free-to-play account's a little bit harder when it comes to this because I only got the 1 tier 10 medal and I don't have any copy medals to copy my friends' medals. But I've got my friends to copy mine and different strategies. So my only tier 10 medal is an Ava here with extra attack and -60 ground. -60 ground is very important for this quest. So Ava is going to be the key, and so is my friend Luxord over here. So everything here has -60 ground and extra attack. My Final Fantasy Record Keeper Sephiroth has extra attack 120. I am not going to use it. I'm going to swipe to make sure that it doesn't do the most damage. So no activation, no tap, swipe, which does the least amount of damage. So everything else is pretty straightforward here. Now, a couple of things to take in mind. If you're going to do this with a setup, make sure that setup is at its max potential. So Ava, attack boost 10 max. Record Keeper Sephiroth, 11 max. My other Sephiroth, 10 max. Make sure you replace those 7s, those 8s, those 9s. Replace the 9s with 11s. Replace the 8s with 10s. You know what I mean? That way you go like, oh, I don't really think it's worth it. You go from 9 to 10 or 10 to 11. Then do by 9 to 11 and 8 to 10. Just make sure everything's at 10 and 11. That's the best way to go about it. So I got attack boost 9 max here. But I've got no more attack boosts. I should be buying avatar boards and not saving all these jewels. But yeah, that's a thing. And another thing is, make your Keyblade go to its fullest potential. Like this Keyblade can go even further. It's at 36.5. Upgrade it. Just keep upgrading. If you have 179 gems, I know the Bad Guy Breaker looks really good. Other Keyblades look good as well. But if you're holding on to gems and not doing anything with them, and you've got over 400, you honestly losing a lot of power. Now, don't spend them if you pass a quest without it, but if you keep hitting that wall, go for the upgrade. As for Dark Gnaw, it would raise this slot to a 3.2, making this Sephiroth go to 7.992, which is a big difference in damage. It helps. It really does help. So make sure you got that out of the way. I forgot to talk about that in the beginning of the video. All right, so I totally forgot about Second Chance. So I took away the extra attack copy medal and I put a copy medal with just one cast, but it's got extra attack on it. I'm sorry, it's got Second Chance on it, which is needed for this because my Xion doesn't have Second Chance or no other medal. So we're going to do that. We're going in. This is the strategy. Again, more attack boost 11 max. And 10 maxes you have, the better. And with your Keyblade as high as possible. So turn 1 is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to buff here. I'm going to activate a Supernova of Master Xehanort to give me 250%. He does 803 million if I use Master Xehanort to clean up my buffs, because if you look at his buffs and debuffs, he's only got -7 reverse and -12 power. Same thing with our buffs. We only have... Actually, no, our reverse buff is fine there. So we lost a little bit of damage there. But Master Xehanort, instead of doing 299 million or 300 million, he does 338 million. So it almost kind of adds up there. Not really. I still think it's better to activate your Master Xehanort than the Supernova, because the Supernova will do up to like 1 billion, which is 200 million difference. So there's a little bit of a damage loss right there. Let me show you. All right, so I reset the quest to show you guys the difference. So turn 1 does that. We're going to tap. We're going to activate our Xion, and then I'm going to activate Master Xehanort, who's going to do 308 per hit. Then activate his Supernova, which does 1,059 million. So it's better to activate your full buffs than trying to activate Supernova into your Master Xehanort or whatever your medal is there. Or in my case, this is what happens. So there's that little bit of damage right there that can make a big difference. Now, the next thing is your pet combo has to go off on the majority of your best attacking medals. If it does, you're good. But turn 1, I am going to activate Final Fantasy Record Keeper Sephiroth just for turn 1, because if I had an extra attack 40%, it would carry over for all 4 turns, but I'm only going to use it out of 1 out of the 4 turns, and then all the other turns, I'm just going to swipe it. So right over here, we're extra attack's going to do 3.53 billion damage, and the rest we're just going to leave it be. So first turn is just a big old auto battle and nothing else. Just get all your buffs and debuffs and your 200 and something % guilt increase from Supernova, and you're good to know. You're good to know. You're good to go. Now, turn 2 is where this is important. If you guys look, we're going to watch this corner over here when I'm talking about the 1,000 buffs. And if you look at his HP over here, you're going to see that he has a green little orb and an RE and an arrow. That means he reflects speed damage, and that's very important for this. So we also got to get rid of his buffs. So make sure you activate your Supernova Xion or Kairi, depending on the Keyblade you use, and activate, right over here, activate Ava for her 280% guilt. Now, the rest of this, just auto battle. I got to stop the auto battle because I got to get rid of Final Fantasy Record Keeper Sephiroth's extra attack. So first activation over here, I'm going to swipe it, and then I'm going to let this play out for 1, 2 metal strength and 3,000 metal strength. So if you look at the top left, like I was talking about, we have 3,000 metal strength, and that's what's really important. What we're going to do on this turn is just going to tap. So we're going to tap on our speed medal, which is Luxord. Speed gets reflected, we die. Now look at the top left, we still have 3,000, and that's going to stack up. So remember how Master Xehanort was doing 307 million per cast? He is now doing 497 million per cast, and that just gets higher and higher for every medal on your Keyblade. So that's really cool that you can manipulate that with this. It's going to help a lot. Now we're going to have 4,000. Look at the top left, 5,000, 6,000. We're going to activate our Supernova here because next turn if we activate it's going to kill us. So we're going to activate it now instead of tapping. Get that damage from 6,000. It's going to kill us. And now come back to this turn. We now have 6,000. So now Master Xehanort is doing 671 million per hit. I'm only talking about Master Xehanort because he's the first one on the list. It's not like you have to focus on him. You guys might be using something different. I just want to show you the metal difference. So swipe there. Now we're at 7,000 metal strength, 8,000 metal strength. And if you guys had Asa or Era, you'd be going up every turn by 1,500 or Terra. So that would be way more than what I currently have. But he's down to 344,000 bars of HP. First Supernova activation, second Supernova activation, and he's dead. Did not even need to cast that Luxord over there. So even better if that extra attack 40% on Final Fantasy Record Keeper was there, he would be benefiting from the big boost over and over and over. Where my first turn, where I did that extra attack 120, it didn't have the extra plus 3,000 or 6,000 that my Autie was giving over the carryover turn. So you would do way more damage if that was an extra attack there. So that's pretty much how I did on my free-to-play account. It went by smoothly. Again, it's very specific to do this, but you can try to manipulate your strategy. You guys can go use a magic setup or bring your magic friend medal to do on turn 3 what I just did. So the first couple turns, you'll just go all out with your counterpoint or your sleeping line, but you got to make sure you're on the turn that you can manipulate those counters. Or you saw my main account just straight out beat it out with Psyx, because Psyx just does so much damage. But what I'm going to do right now is actually show you different strategies from other people that are on my stream. They send me screenshots, so hopefully one of these screenshots here, you guys can copy it. It's the setups they use to beat it, so hopefully one of these might give you a different idea. Alright, strategy 1 is from Vintage Virus. He says over here he used a QR21 Supernova plus perfect traits got me the clear. His setup is a friend rear at level 36. His slots are at 7.1, 7.0, not even at the 8s or anything crazy, as you guys can see. So he's got this full setup here, and pretty much what I think he did was carry over Era's buffs. So he's got Angelic Amber copying Era, Luxord copying backwards on Era, meaning you're getting all those buffs, and he probably has good extra attacks on these. So let's see, extra attack on slots, like I just said, slot 3, Angelic Amber. Slot 4 is Angelic Amber, slot 5 is Era, and slot 6 is Luxord. So he's getting 3, 6, 9,000 from that first turn, another 9,000 from the second turn, and another 9,000 from the third turn. Or in this case, because he's using a QR21 as a friend medal, that's probably him manipulating the turn 3 counter that magic will reflect him. So the first 2 turns are going to be straight out pure damage, and then when it comes to turn 3, the QR21 is going to end up killing him, carrying over to turn 4, so he gets 1 carryover for these buffs, but that's 9,000 carryover. That's pretty big. So that's one strategy. So this next one is a little bit more beefy. It's from Jesus. He says that he pretty much used Kyrie B on the 3rd turn to get the 5k and ended up dying to carry over to the 4th turn. So he has 5k for 1 turn on top of it, even though you can't activate Kyrie B. But his subslot multipliers are 5.048 and his Keyblade is level 40. So his Keyblade is thick. So this is why this speed Keyblade setup worked, and especially because he's got multicast of Gula and Ultimate Form Sora. So this is one way to just use your speed setup. What you gotta do is turn 2, where he reflects speed, you just tap and lose that entire turn, but make sure he doesn't kill you. So don't buff, don't debuff, don't do any of that, just tap and lose the whole second turn. Comes turn 3 is where you do full activation, use your Kyrie B, you ended up dying, but you carry over that 5,000. Now that 5,000 plus Ultimate Form Sora and the Gulas and Luxord copying backwards on Gula, it's just so much damage that speed works out. So that's pretty much the whole entire setup, and the friend medal was the Kyrie B that he was talking about. So that works out really nicely because that 5,000 does make sense. You just lose out power on turn 1. But when it comes turn 3 and 4, you're going all out on it, which is pretty cool. So thank you, Jesus, for that second setup. We got another strategy here with Sleeping Lion. It's a little bit more toned down. You can see that it's not crazy subslots. He's got 7.8, 7.4. He's at 36.5 Keyblade level, which is not too hard to get. And he's got all the medals that you need for this. If you have multiple Ultimate Form Soras, it works out. He has Ultimate Form Sora down there, a Lee copy another Ultimate Form Sora, and then an Autie. It's an all upright strategy. Extra attack is on slot 3. So Ultimate Form Sora, slot 4, slot 5, and slot 6. So all those carry over buffs will go right through. And looking at the speed setup, he probably has a magic friend medal, maybe Ava to carry over another plus 1,000, but that works out as well. Again, if you have a lot of these Ultimate Form Soras, it really does work. If you only have one, then again, it probably won't work out too well, but if you guys can copy this one, here's another one. Thanks, Megas. Here's another one by Taran. Taran has a friend rate at 38.5. His slot multipliers are 5.00. So he's got a thick Keyblade, and he's got extra attack on slot 4, which is Angelic Amber, slot 5, Autie, and slot 6, which is Luxord. So he's got a lot of activations of Autie there. And slot 3, his Era doesn't have extra attack, so it's only 1 activation of 1,500. But again, the whole carryover of all that strength. And you know what? This might not even need, it might be like my main account where we don't have to end up dying, carrying over our buffs, but if it does, it'll do ridiculous damage. But I do see a second chance over here, and I see no defense boost max on this setup. So it looks like that he's got 100% poison resist down here. So what he did was just carry on into the multi-turns. So he probably did carry over, and lower the enemy's attack and all that. Not to attack, the counters. So he had poison resist. That's something you guys can do as well with second chance, so you don't need a defense boost max. And this last strategy is from Corey. It's another beefy one, 4.992 sub slots, but his Keyblade is a counterpoint, so he's using magic setup, 41.5. And he's got extra attack on slot 2 and 4 only. That's his Luxord copying the Kyrie. Kyrie does have defense boost 5 max or a max like you guys can see, and Luxord has second chance. So he's got double activation there. Then he doesn't have extra attack on the third slot, so that's 1 activation of Aqua. Second Aqua does have extra attack, so that's going to be 2 activations. So you get 3 activations there. Ava doesn't have extra attack, so that's only 1 activation. And then Lee is most likely copying something very powerful as well. But 41.5 is a lot of damage. So I don't know if he's carrying over buffs or not. That wasn't really explained here, but it looks like this worked. You just got to find out what that friend medal was. But hopefully something here helped you guys out. That is pretty much all the strategies. My main account you guys just saw, free-to-play account just went through, and here's some of the community's setups. So hopefully something here helped you guys out. If you need more help, comment section down below, or I have a Discord link in the description where you guys can go to the cook strategy section, and then you can put your setup there and someone can help you guys out. But that's pretty much everything, guys. I hope you've passed this. Hope you get that free 5,000 jewels. If you don't pass it and you only go up to like quest 5, you still got 3,100, which is an entire free pull. But the more jewels, the better. So I wish you guys the best of luck. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.